Okay, so I'm just going to run through a quick stretching routine that you can do in your own time, either first thing in the morning or during the day or last thing at night if you're feeling quite tight from sitting down all day. So you can spend longer on each exercise if there's a particular exercise that you're finding quite difficult or you're feeling quite tight in that posture, then obviously spend a little bit longer on that posture, okay? So starting off, just sitting in a comfortable seated position, making sure that your shoulders are relaxed and your spine is straight. Just taking a few deep breaths here. And then just pushing your chest forwards, so you're getting a nice rounding of your back. And then pushing your back towards the back wall, tucking your tailbone under, chin into your chest. And then again, pushing your chest forwards as you breathe in. And then breathing out, pushing your back towards the back wall. And just flow through that a couple of times. Just getting as much movement in your spine as you can. And then reaching your arms up. And then placing one arm down to the floor, reaching over with the other hand. Keeping your shoulder back, looking up towards the ceiling if you can, keeping your hips on the floor. So it's very tempting to lift up your hip, but you want to keep it on the floor. So you're getting a nice stretch down your side. Breathing in, lifting your arms up, and then over to the other side. Again, looking up to the ceiling, keeping your shoulder back. And then inhale, coming up. And then folding forwards, just reaching your hands forwards. The aim is to get your forehead onto the floor. But don't worry if you can't get it that far to the floor. Just try to keep walking your hands forwards and keeping your hips on the floor. And then slowly bringing yourself back up to seated, coming onto all fours, and just going into cat-cow. Try and get as much movement in your spine as you can. Bring your chin into your chest, tucking that tailbone under. And then the other way, getting a nice curve in your spine. With cat-cow, you can just keep it simple, just up and down, or you can start rotating your hips, rotating your shoulders, so you're moving your spine in all different directions, not just up and down. And you can just hold it where it feels tight. You don't have to keep it rigid up and down. Okay. Once you've done that, tucking your toes under, and we're going to go into down dog. Now down dog, the aim is to get your heels flat on the floor. You want to be pushing your chest towards your thighs and looking towards your navel. So you don't want your head forwards. If you feel like your back is arching, just bend your knees slightly and really try and tilt your tailbone so it's facing up towards the ceiling, okay? Rather than kind of curling your spine. Just taking some deep breaths here. You should feel the stretch down into your hamstrings. And then lifting one leg up. So you're into a 3-leg dog. Keep pushing that other heel, opposite heel down to the floor, bending your knee and opening out. So you're opening out your hip, and then you start to feel the stretch down your side. Bringing that leg forwards and placing the foot in between your hands. You can keep your back knee off the floor, or if you want to, you can place the knee down to the floor and just pushing the hip forwards. So you're getting a nice stretch into your hip flexor. Remembering to take deep breaths. If your muscles feel really tight, taking deep breaths, getting as much oxygen into your body as possible can help relax those muscles. And then sitting back on the back foot, keeping the front leg straight. Stretching into your hamstring, keeping the chest lifted. If you feel comfortable here, you can start to walk your hands forwards. Just try and keep your chest lifted the whole time, rather than arching over. You'll get more of a stretch into your hamstrings if you're keeping your chest lifted. And moving forwards again, pushing those hips down into your hands, into your hips, feeding that into your hip flexors. And then again, sitting back. And if you want to, you can just flow through that a few times if you're feeling quite tight here. And then when you feel ready, bringing that foot across your body. You want your shin on the floor, and then you're just walking that back foot back, the knee back, and you want your hips as low to the floor as you can, okay? You can either stay up here like this, if this is comfortable. If you want to stretch a little bit further, you can just lower your chest down to the floor, your forehead down to the floor, and hold it here. So you should feel this into your glutes. You should also feel this in your hip flexors again. So you can hold this here for as long as you like. Pause the video if you want to hold here a little bit longer. Once you're ready to move on, you can try the next posture, which does get quite a deep stretch into your quads. So you can either grab your resistance band, or if you're wearing trousers, like baggy trousers, you can grab hold onto that, depending on how flexible you are. So just lifting your back foot off the floor. If you can, grab hold of your foot and just pull your foot as far in towards your hips as you can, in towards your bum as you can, okay? Try to keep looking forwards, so you should feel a really deep stretch into your quads. If you feel very tight there, very stiff, and if you can't grab hold of your foot, then place the band around your foot and do exactly the same thing, okay? Obviously release the band if you need to, okay? So you can do exactly the same thing. And just hold it here. And this is a really, really good stretch for your quads, okay? So once you're ready, just release that, tuck the back toes under, and then lifting that leg up. So we're going back into your three-legged dog, pushing your heel down to the floor, and then placing that foot, the other foot down to the floor, into your down dog. Now on the other side, lifting the other leg off the floor, and taking your leg back. So again, you're stretching down your side, and then bringing that foot forwards into either a high lunge, or if you want to, into a low lunge. So holding it here, if you want to get a nice deep stretch into the hip flexors. Then placing the knee down to the floor, releasing your toes. So you're stretching into your hip flexors, and then moving back into your hamstring stretch. Again, keeping your chest lifted. You can either stay here or walk your hands forwards. So you're getting that nice deep stretch into your hamstrings. And then you can just flow through this at your own pace. Hold one posture for a little bit longer if you feel the need to. And then when you're ready, just bringing your foot across your body, placing your shin on the mat, and just walking that back foot and that knee further down, further back. And either staying here, or if you feel like you want to stretch a little bit deeper, bringing your chest down onto the mat, and you can release your forehead down onto your hands. So again, holding here as long as you feel like you need to. And then bringing yourself up, you're stretching into your quads now. So lifting that back foot off the floor, either grabbing your band or your trouser leg, or if you can, grabbing hold of your foot, stretching deep into those quads, looking forwards. And again, just holding this as long as you feel like you need to. Once you're ready, you can release that foot down to the floor, curling your toe under, hands shoulder width apart, and then releasing that leg back into your three-legged dog, and then placing that foot down to the floor into your down dog. A few nice deep breaths here, and then coming forwards into a tall plank, lower your body down, and then into either an up dog or a cobra. Just looking forwards, keeping your shoulders relaxed, and just holding it here. This is a really nice posture for the lower back. It may not feel like you're stretching anything, you're stretching your abs, but this is a really nice posture for your lower back because quite often we're always slouched over on the sofa or at our desk. So this posture is basically forcing our back into the opposite position. So it's really good sometimes if, if you're watching telly or reading a book, if you can just lie down on the floor and just lie in this posture. and it just takes a lot of pressure off the spine. So just holding it here. Once you feel ready to move into the next posture, coming up onto your hands, taking your knees wide, toes together, and just sitting back onto your heels into child's pose, reaching the hands forwards, and just bringing your forehead to the floor. And you should feel a nice deep stretch into your adductors, into your groin. Just bringing your hands over to one side, again pushing your chest down to the floor, so you're getting a stretch down into your side as well. And just walking the hands over to the other side. And then back into the middle. And then coming up to seated. Just bring your feet, your legs wide, as straight as possible. Make sure your feet are flexed. You don't want your feet to be relaxed because then automatically your legs flop in. So keeping your feet flexed and your knees up to the ceiling or towards the back, okay, rather than flopped forwards. Chest lifted, breathing in, lifting your arms, and then breathing out, bringing your hands forwards, just walking your hands forwards as far as you can, feeling the stretch into your hamstrings and into your adductors. Walking your hands over to one leg, lifting your chest, think about extending your spine, and then releasing down. Again, keeping your opposite hip on the floor rather than lifting it up off the floor, which is a natural thing to want to do. Inhale, coming up, lifting your arms, and inhale down. Over to the other side, lifting your chest and then relaxing down. And inhale, coming back up to seated, bringing the soles of your feet together. So 2 stages of this posture. The first one, we're going to bring our feet as close towards our hips as we can. Open out our feet like a book and try and get those knees as close to the floor as we can, okay? Keeping the elbows in, trying to push those legs down to the floor, keeping the feet open like a book, and just moving our chest forwards as close to the floor as we can. And then once we've held this for as long as we like, taking the feet a little bit further out now. Again, just keeping the knees apart, but this time you're not necessarily forcing it. You're just letting your legs relax. And we're just going to let our upper body relax as well. So you want your arms to be really relaxed, your back to be relaxed, your whole body relaxed, bringing your chin into your chest and holding it here. So this is basically a yin posture, yin yoga posture, which is amazing for the back. So here you can hold this posture for about 5 to 10 minutes if you wanted to. It can really take a lot of pressure off the spine. If you get any kind of sciatic pain or anything like that, it's really good for just releasing any tightness, any tightness around the spine. Remembering to breathe, taking deep breaths. And you can just move around if you feel like you need to. It doesn't have to be a static posture. You can just move slightly to the side, stretching down each side of your spine, moving your head. If you're moving your chin into your chest, you might feel a pull down your spine. So if that's the case, the more you kind of move your chin towards your chest and then back again, the more it will release. Once you feel ready to come out of this posture, slowly roll yourself up. And then just come into a seated position and just take some deep breaths here where your spine is neutral. If you feel like you need to, you can just lie down on your mat with your legs out straight, your arms out straight, and just lie there for a few minutes just to reset your spine. Or just sitting in a comfortable seated position can also do the same thing. And just taking some deep breaths here. And then that's your stretching routine finished. So I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. Any questions, obviously just ask. If you can think of any other videos that you'd like, then obviously just get in touch and let us know.